This is the end,
my friend,
of the podcast. This is the end. Hello, Lindsay.
Hello, Ryan.
Here we are on the final, ultimate episode of the Funhaus Podcast.
Last week was the penultimate.
Yes, 3 weeks ago was what?
The trenultimate. I just made that up. But this is the end.
Oh, wow. It's been a run. Been through a million different iterations. I could not possibly name them all or all the hosts. Can you?
No, but I do know that, it's been the Funhaus Podcast for a couple of years.
Has it been really multiple years since
that it was called the Funhaus?
Oh,
since
right.
you and I have been here hosting, it's just been this year.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Been this year. Before that, there was Armando and Charlotte and Jacob. And, before that, we were doing it online for a while. But
Dude Soup.
But this is the end of this.
For now.
Podcast.
Maybe. Who knows?
Now, we're going to have a fun show today. Okay.
Hell yeah, we are.
It's not just me and Ryan. We're bringing in everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gave the lineup look really fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's all your coworkers.
Right.
So good.
I like
That's
these
good.
people.
We like these people. You've seen them on the podcast here and there before. We've been able to pick some of their brains throughout the year. We've done Bachelor and Survivor recaps with some of them.
Too much
this
people's
year.
chagrin.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But, it's still always a fun time.
Hell yeah. And it's going to be the funnest time. This is going to be probably the best episode of the podcast. I think we've been waiting. We've all agreed beforehand that we're really saving it here for the end. So whenever you come back and revisit this podcast, please start on this episode.
Yeah.
This is the best one.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us, Lindsay?
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about what was really special about this year. So not just related to the podcast, but Funhaus in general and some projects that we were able to work on and fun moments, even outside of work, we could talk about
You're telling me this is going to be a Funhaus themed Funhaus podcast?
Yes, I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy.
It's insane.
But, talk about some of our highlights, reflections, fun memories of moments. And should we just get started?
Yeah, let's get into our first guest.
Okay, our first guest.
She's a real good get here. I couldn't believe we got her first.
I know. Well, she had a very expensive rate, but I was able to get the boss to approve that. So everybody, please welcome Elise Willems.
Elise Willems to the podcast. Thank you for coming, Elise.
Thank you for having. Did you get the milkshake?
Ryan, did you forget the milkshake?
That was my rate. Was one
milkshake.
I guess it's half drunk Coke.
You don't want to drink.
You don't want to drink that. Hi, Elise.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
I feel like it was only yesterday I was on this podcast.
Was it?
Maybe a week ago.
Okay.
It was a week or so ago.
But you've been on the Funhaus podcast many times, and you were also on Dude Soup many times, which neither of those names or podcasts are coming back ever.
Yeah.
I can't say that for sure. I don't know.
I've produced episodes of this podcast in the past.
Yeah, you have.
Then kind of run the gamut on this.
I feel like you were the best producer of this kind of podcast because you're so thorough and
I've
organized.
always said that.
No, you're an amazing producer as well. And
you do research.
An amazing guest and co-host, Ryan. And you guys have done such a beautiful, fun job with the podcast. And especially in a challenging year where we renamed the podcast and we reformatted the podcast. And then also, who's listening to podcasts anymore? Because word on the street is Gen Z teenagers. They're just getting their news from Twitch.
I thought they were getting their news from
TikTok,
3-minute bite-sized TikToks. Yeah.
So I think you guys have done a really, really fun job together, and people love your dynamic. So congrats on a really, really good year.
That's really sweet. I mean, we definitely had a lot of fun moments, but it's also it's a lot of work to do a podcast every week, which people don't talk about. People who are podcasters, maybe they do talk about it on some podcasts, but it's a lot of work.
Sometimes I feel like there's just this expectation of, we'll just sit down and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
No. It can't always be like that. Well, if you're Ryan Haley, it can be.
No. I'm not good at that kind of thing, but sometimes those are fun podcasts to listen to, but most times they suck. It's like improv or something.
Sure.
It's like most suck, but some people are good at it.
I mean, you are the most interesting man alive, so you've always got a fun story to tell or something to talk about. Duh, you don't have to be modest, Ryan. We all know it. Own it.
Okay, I own it.
I do when there are times where you've done tears on this podcast. Those have been fun. Where it's like rank, you know.
Oh.
Cry. Has anyone cried on this podcast?
I did tear up one time on this podcast, and it was when James was talking about the movie with the dog.
Oh, Hachi.
Yep.
Hachiko.
I was crying a little bit during that.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have cried more on this podcast. I could have got more views.
You have till the end of this episode.
Okay.
To
I'll get there.
How to cry, Lindsay.
I'll get there. I can do it.
Or we start a new podcast that
It's just called Cry.
The crux of it is like why I cry or something.
Yeah.
And then every episode we're trying to figure out what makes us cry or how to cry over something.
Yeah. I don't need to figure that out. I can cry over anything. I can cry over anything. But Elise, why don't you tell me, you know, we're wrapping another year here at Funhaus, and I just want to know what's like one of your favorite, you know, productions or videos or stream or character that you got to play. You could pick your favorite out of any of those.
Oh my gosh. I definitely love doing Barbie Didn't Do It.
Yes.
With you and Charlotte. You two were so exceptional. And for a tabletop show where for a lot of it, it's just the two of you carrying it. You did such a good job.
A lot. She carried a lot.
I mean, it's all the rapport between the two of you and the friendship, and it shined in that. And I really had a fun time. I'd never GM'd something before.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been in I've played a ton of tabletop, but I had
you
never.
Were great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really fun to do. You can listen to it now, watch it if you want.
It's all out there.
Man, watching you guys play disc golf was a highlight. That was my birthday too that we filmed that, and it was such a fun thing to do on my birthday. Like that's what I get to go to work and do.
And that was your idea too for the video. Remember? It was.
Well, but
it was funny.
But I was like, it'd just be a nice little thing for me.
Yeah.
There's too much. You step with a buco when Charlotte's like put on this little hat and wheeling this tray. And, you know, what a little joyful job we have to do all these things.
Super grateful.
That's so sweet.
You know? Why not?
Remember when I won at disc golf and how awesome that part was?
Well,
specifically. There's a whole video about it on the membership. So if you go to the members part of this this YouTube channel.
Ryan, when you do things like that where you edit something to fudge you misrepresent the truth,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you really actually feel like rewarded in that?
I'm very transparent about it though in the edit. It's obvious, right?
Yeah, but wouldn't actually winning be so much more rewarding?
I know. There's a plan B. If I don't win, then I gotta have a plan B to win. You know.
The plan B is I make it look like I won.
You're like in Ocean's 11. Like,
just kidding. Lying is bad, and I don't condone it.
The plan,
except in funny videos.
Manipulate my edits so it looks like I always win.
Right. But I really did it. You know, talking about how humble I am. The pig video, I legitimately did win, and I just didn't have time to edit that part in. And you remember?
We don't know that though.
See, that's the thing.
Because we didn't see.
Does that make you feel good, Elise, to deprive me of my legitimate win?
What are you talking about?
Tell everyone you were there. Now's your time to tell everybody.
I don't remember what happened exactly. But if there is the footage, why don't we have a video coming?
I will edit it. And everyone will know it is on my hard drive.
Until it gets edited, no one can confirm this information, right? I'm sorry. The proof is in the pudding, and you're always somebody who can back up with receipts, and this is the one time.
I just haven't had time. I'm going to. I have the receipts, and they're coming at
he ate all the pudding. Now, okay, one more question for you, Elise, and then it's time for you to go because we got a lot of people to get in here.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you're looking forward to most next year, creatively, like at work, you know?
Or anything in life.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's something that's like directly on the horizon right now at work, but I don't know if I can talk about it. Can I talk about the show that?
Why not?
Yeah, right? Why not?
Say that, because if it falls apart, you never heard nothing. Yeah. We're not doing it. But if we can make it happen and we figure it out and you're working on it now.
Yeah, if it doesn't happen, there's a good reason for it not happening. But we're bringing back Eye Tracker that we used to do. And so I'm working on that right now. And man, I'm cracking myself up.
You're cracking me up.
And I'm so excited for everybody to do it and to film these. Like, what a fun. And also, we do a lot of content which falls in the bucket of play game, react to game, spitball on game. But this is a very specific, we're doing something different. Yeah. We're reacting to something different. And so it just feels like a refresh, which feels really, really exciting.
I love those last ones.
And we've talked a little bit about what else we could do outside.
Yes,
Like,
we have.
what other outdoor adventures?
We talked about cross-net volleyball. We talked about regular volleyball. We talked about, I think we talked about
soccer, baseball.
Soccer, baseball, cornhole.
We should probably go to
Ping pong, mini golf.
the UK so we could play football.
That's a good idea, Lindsay.
So we should
football.
probably get budget to go to the UK.
Hawaii for volleyball.
We should probably go to Hawaii
for
beach volleyball and surfing, probably.
Oh, we gotta learn how. Ryan's gotta learn how to surf
in Hawaii.
I know how to surf.
Will you win at surf somehow?
I mean, I'm still an intermediate. Not great at it, but I can win.
Well, I am also looking forward to that show, being a part of it, and then watching it and watching everybody have those reactions. So the audience should be looking forward to that. But we have a lot of content that's coming out, I think even before that too, so people can get really excited about all the fun stuff.
I'd love to hear what you two are excited about.
I'm excited about Napkin the Elf's Christmas games that he came here to play.
When does that come out?
On December 13th, unless YouTube gives us a strike for the video.
Will that already be out by the time this podcast is out?
I have no idea. What day is it right now in terms of the people that are watching?
I think it's like the 15th.
Oh, okay. So that came out a couple of days ago.
What's
We're going to watch it.
Check it out. Yeah.
It's the 14th.
Oh, the day after then.
Okay, so they all watched it. Great. Anything else that you'd like to say to the podcast viewers and listeners?
Well, this podcast has gone through so many iterations, so many evolutions, different phases, different hosts, different casts. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who stayed the course no matter what it looked like, what it sounded like. Mm-hmm. Times where we put out bad audio because we had some recording mishap or forgot to record the video, or, it's like the people who have that grace with you and are supportive in that way. Those are my favorite people in the community. It genuinely means a lot to me that people have stayed the course with this channel, because I think it's a good group of people to stay the course for. So thank you so much. And thank you guys for taking on the
It was really well put, Elise. Yeah, people, because content evolves. YouTube channels evolve over time, and some people don't stick around, But
other thing, I wish I had more cooler, interesting stuff to say these last 7 years or whatever on this podcast. I lead a very uninteresting life.
That's not true at all.
So,
That's not true.
But yeah, like you're saying, Ryan, maybe down the road, maybe we'll come up with something. We'll spin up, another kind of iteration or format of this, and because it's fun hanging with the homies.
It is. It's the fun, loosest, I think, thing that we do. I feel like, which sometimes, for better or worse. Yeah, but it's fun.
It's fun. Thanks, Elise.
We
appreciate
you
your time.
guys.
Appreciate you.
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Elise.
Everyone, give Elise a round of applause sitting at home.
Okay, are you ready to roll in our next guest?
Who is it? I have no clue.
It's Dan Schneider.
I mean, Omar.
Okay. Why is this?
We're doing
Did I not?
Omar, get out of the way.
Did I not update it on the calendar?
Omar was hovering and trying to steal my spot.
Oh, trying to steal your spot.
Did you change the order at some point?
Ryan, real quick.
Yeah, earlier.
What'd you say?
Bring the mic closer to your mouth.
Oh, thank you.
I did change the order.
Uh-oh,
But-
boss man's gonna be upset.
But it's also not correct on here either. I thought I fixed it. Anyways,
Well, we're also
they don't
doing
want to hear about all
Shoved
that.
Omar out of the way.
They don't want to hear about all that. They want to know what is going on in the world of Dan Schneider.
2023. Dan, what are your thoughts?
About the year?
I don't know. We asked a bunch of questions there.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Lindsay's producing this one. Lindsay, ask again.
Ryan's very prepared as
Well,
usual.
we've been talking about how this is, Ryan's got a passion for podcasts, as we've learned on this podcast. But he's so busy with his other responsibilities. He has no time for his passion.
Editing is also my number one
Always
passion.
complaining about time
I am.
at all times.
So we've been talking about how, we're wrapping up the podcast here.
Good riddance. I'm kidding.
We had a couple other iterations of this podcast before Ryan and I, and so it's all coming up to an end here.
Cool.
This is definitely, I think, the most casual it's been. Well, it was pretty casual with Armando and them on the couch. That was pretty casual.
For sure.
But it's a little bit less casual than when it was in the booth with people and they were specifically talking about games and news events.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I remember one time Lawrence had me on the show and he was talking about some technical thing in video games and no one had any idea what he's fucking talking about. We were all just nodding.
Oh.
Like, yes, ray tracing.
Yeah. Well, we always try to keep it simple here, so.
So when you're not going to throw some technical shit at me?
Yeah.
I know he's not.
And you used to host another podcast that was on the channel too.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I did Funhaus for a while.
Yeah.
So we're talking about podcasting in general.
Yeah.
I heard James briefly talking about how much of a grind it is. So I think when you guys kind of split it up a little bit, at least made it a little more tenable for a while.
Yeah.
Because it's like something you can come into, I think anything you come into with excitement, enthusiasm, because it's new.
It's new. It's a
Doing
new
something every
experience.
week for a year is exhausting.
It's very
I mean, it'll
exhausting.
just like steal whatever you love from it because
Yeah.
you have to do it constantly, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't mean that to sound as down as it is, because like I'm sure you guys both started this in like, was it January when you
Yep.
took over? You're like, cool, but then it just becomes
Oh,
hard.
I love it. We cannot spend the whole last podcast complaining about podcasts.
No.
Sorry.
I was gonna say though,
I have
because
a passion for
well,
these.
I wanted to add a positive note on that. That even though like something like Funhaus ended, a different iteration of people at Funhaus talking about movies came back.
Sure.
into
Yeah,
a new
Funhaus
podcast.
2
Yeah.
kind of came about
So
this year.
you never know how this.
I'm sure
you know,
there will be a Funhaus
could
podcast
twist.
in the future at some point. It'll come back.
Who knows
in
what
some
that'll
way.
be? Who knows what that'll be? But I did want to know, we are at the end of another year. So we've been asking everybody sort of what is like one of your favorite moments, either a project or a production, a video stream, anything that you worked on creatively this year.
Well, this year I kind of did take a step back creatively a little bit to more management. But the two shows I was still producing were Must Be Dice and Bored as Hell.
Mhm.
And I got a lot of joy out of those, especially I think the highlight was seeing Elise DM for like run a game for the first time.
Yeah.
'Cause she's like
She was
always, she's
great.
played a lot of these games. We all know she's funny, but I'd never seen her like run a game. So
Yeah.
that was really exciting. And I think that Barbie didn't do it. It was really funny, really awesome. Along Must Be Dice lines, yeah. The 2 one-shots we just did were really awesome. I don't know if you guys have seen them yet, but Jacob's Gundam video was really, really cool.
Oh, and the
And
Lasers
then
and
Lasers and
Feelings,
Feelings
yeah.
2 was really fun. So I really like I guess my realm was sort of the non-game stuff that we make,
Yeah.
the non-game, non-podcast stuff we like. And Bored as Hell had a bunch of bangers this year, especially in ones that I was super unsure of. Because like every once in a while,
like
I'd like
suspend.
put it up. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
I put it out there. Like I don't have the games I have picked. There's too much pre-pro. Who has a game that we can like describe? To
I
someone in
brought a
5
couple
minutes?
real simple ones. I was like,
Lindsay shows up with
it's
these
for babies.
coat hangers. I'm like, okay. But then of course, Patrick
Yeah.
makes it incredible, and he's you're like having one in the bag. Anytime you put you in a board game show, I know you're going to drive like a competitive bent, even when it's not necessarily the most competitive game. You like
All board games by definition are competitive, but continue.
yeah. Anyway, but I don't know. You always bring something to it, so it was always one of those like who's going to be in this? I know James is in all of them, but it's like Ryan will cause trouble, so
Thank you, Dan.
so he's in.
Now-
I loved the Beat the 8-Ball one.
Oh, that was a really good one
that
too.
was a blast.
Like another like simple stupid game. Like I think I leaned into that a little more this year, like the simple stupid ones as
Yeah.
opposed to like big
Rules
complex
heavy.
multi-hour. It takes us playing it once before we can actually record. That stuff was just hard production wise. So I was
I
like
remember
doing less and less and less of
the
that.
first board game video that I was a part of. We actually played the was it the one in the mall or was it? It was like with a house
remember.
or something, and there was rooms, and it was a game for like 8-year-olds. But I remember
But it was
maybe it was
hard?
like something mansion, maybe I don't know.
I don't
Anyways,
remember.
it was a long time. It was when I first started, and you're like, yeah, get in this.
Cool.
Snake Oil was a fun one.
Dude, there's so many like Bored as Hell was great. I think we kind of sidelined it for a little while.
Mhm.
Talking about our programming just to simplify what we're doing some, especially when demo wheel came around, we had to lose something. And Bored as Hell was kind of floating around on what day it was. It was like our extra video when it came out and it just had to go for a little while.
Yeah.
While we were
didn't
figuring
have
out
the
demo wheel.
resources, Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure it'll be back at some point next year because they do so
That's
well
what I
and
was
people
gonna
love
ask.
them.
Is there stuff?
I mean, we have
maybe-
no plan.
Yeah, we have no plan, but
We have no plan, but like I was looking through like a list of our top 100 videos. There's a bunch of Bored as Hells up there.
yeah.
So I think people like them and they kind of create social moments that kind of reach out to a newer audience that helps. Like, he's being a crazy person usually and screaming about a kid's game. I love that. Where does that passion come from?
The fire one was fun too.
It's probably where his passion for podcasts come from.
No, like what makes you? Is it like having a bunch of like siblings that you're like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you kids? Like,
I don't know. To me, just I think being the youngest of a bunch of cousins and stuff too, and them all bullying up on me and stuff, and it was just like fun. To me, that was just a fun part of the game. Was just them being like, we're gonna take this way too far and extra seriously, and like it's I don't know, everyone getting in your face and talking shit. I had a good time, but I know it's for everyone. Even my brothers and stuff. When I play with them, it's not like we still have a good time.
They tell you to sit down sometimes.
Oh no. They're just like. I immediately get a target put on my back because they're all just like, all right, well, we got to go after Ryan.
Yeah.
You paint that target yourself.
Yeah, I know.
You
but
do.
It's fun.
You're in the mirror.
So, yeah, I like those shows that I kind of have a larger creative role in.
Mm-hmm.
But we made a lot of really good stuff this year.
There was a lot of cool
I agree.
stuff.
I was looking back on it too, and I was like, man, there's a bunch of bangers this year.
Yeah, I wish I'd thought about this more than the 5 minutes I was sitting out there.
It's
all right. We wanted your,
I really
off
like
the cuff.
What I hope there will be more of that Gmod movie recreation show that Charlotte's made.
Those are really good.
I think it's really cool. I don't know.
It's such a unique thing though. I mean, it's like machinima or like fake machinima, but it's sort of like, it's so behind the fourth wall. It's like, pulling back the curtain, and it's goofy, and it's making fun of that too. It's really good.
For sure.
Now, what is something that you, I think, would be looking forward to doing next year? Is it like, more Bored as Hell?
More Bored as Hell? I always love RPGs.
RPGs.
Don't know where that fits in our immediate future.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they don't perform well on the main
channel.
channel.
Be a good way to do a streaming events of those.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. That's where that show lives. Maybe that's where Bored as Hell lives too, in streaming world.
Maybe so.
Because streaming was a thing like we started this year as like part of a big part of our plan that initially I was like really annoyed by because it takes up so much of all of the editor's time.
It's a lot of time.
But I kind of started to love it as like a place that we get to try things and experiment with things and like torture Ryan a little bit and torture James a little bit. I don't know. It became a real fun space that I went from being annoyed by to being excited about.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see kind of how we continue to evolve the streams and the pledge drives and all the live stuff we're doing, because I mean that seems to be a place where we're doing really well and that we should lean into. So I want to see what we come up with when we try and push it to whatever is next, right?
I mean, just even them putting stuff together like the trucker stream and the way they've done that so creatively. It's like there's so much more there that we can do to make really fun events that I think the audience will love and laugh at.
For sure.
So
got to figure out what Ryan's playing next. I was there when he finished Kingdom Hearts a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Or was that yesterday?
I think that was yesterday.
Well, it was last week.
I would love to produce some of those, though. We should.
Yeah, you want to figure out something?
Produce some streams.
That's got to be something you're unhappy about, I think.
No, I think we can do both. There's enough room on this channel for both.
More than one time saw you come out of that room after a Kingdom Hearts stream just like sweaty and exhausted and sort of angry.
Not angry.
Agitated.
4 hours
I mean,
it's being on or whatever.
It's exhausting.
Crazy.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't know how people do that for their day.
That's why, I feel like all my suggestions are always like, and we'll just sit around and we'll be quiet.
We'll turn a camera on.
Yeah. I could stream if there was no camera and no lights. I could stream for 8 hours, I bet. Just talking.
You'd watch movies for 8 hours on stream?
Well, I'm not watching movies, but playing a game and just talking, I could do that for a long time. I do that every night. No cameras, no lights. It's
just
great.
Talking to yourself?
Well, no, talking to my friends.
Does that cup say wanted wiener?
It does. It says world's most wanted wiener. It's a wiener schnitzel cup.
Okay.
Did you get a wiener schnitzel today?
I did with Jacob, yeah.
Nice.
Anyways,
Is it nice?
Dan, do you have anything else you'd like to say on this
about
final,
wiener schnitzel?
No, about Funhouse. It's the final episode, so say whatever you like, and then get the hell out of here.
The last chance. I love Funhouse. I think I was talking to John. I've given Thumbhouse. I've given Funhouse my 30s, so I feel like I put a lot into it, right?
That might make me cry.
I'm just as agitated as everyone makes me because like I'm in charge of certain things and people are hard to work with sometimes. But it's so impressive. Like we have this extremely talented group of people that like I'm always like surprised by or like excited by the thing they make. Like really always excited to see like Orion edit when I know he's like passionate about it because he's asked for extra days to work on it. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see this. So like we have this super talented group and seeing us pivot so hard from like the adversity at the end of the year and like setting up all of these different recording spaces and just kind of constantly getting hurdles thrown in front of us and like being exhausted by that, but seeing us like persevere and continue to succeed and like create new avenues for that, creating the streams, creating the pledges, having these tiers, like leaning into the community on Discord and like just seeing the group constantly evolve is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And like I've been here for almost 8 years, I think, and like honestly think this is like the most powerful, the most creatively strong the team's ever been. Like I think we make stuff that's better than Funhaus has ever made stuff. And I'm more excited by the work and more happy about the work environment.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that this whole thing has evolved into a better thing over time, even though we constantly get, shit thrown at us that's hard to deal with. Like just today, new YouTube stuff going to cause problems in January.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
It's cool to see a talented group of people constantly get over those adversities. And it's fun to be able to rely on like a team of people to be creative together and like come up with stuff. And I just think it's really cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
No, I mean,
Well
high
put.
five?
yeah, high
Are we
five.
high-fiving?
We're high fiving.
We high-fived earlier.
Yeah. Right.
I
Thank
don't
you,
think I've ever
Dan.
high-fived you, but twice in one day.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
We appreciate
Hey,
you
thanks for
being
having me
here
on.
and for chatting.
And the game that I've been working on, Fave, it will finally be done in December. It's going to be like a Christmas present to people. So
All
in a
right.
couple of weeks, there will be a PDF for that. If that's something you're into,
yeah.
Keep your eyes and
look
ears
on the
out.
Reddit. If people are on Twitter on anymore, I don't know. But it'll be around there. I'll put it out if that's something you're into.
Bye, Dan.
It took a year.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Dan.
Who's next?
I
John?
love you.
All right, everybody. Please welcome John Smith.
John Smith. Give him a round of applause.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I brought my new picture frame that I have for my desk.
Oh, it's Bones.
Oh, who's that gentleman?
Yeah. Well, it's what? Are you serious?
No, I was waiting
It
for you to
was
tell
just because
everyone.
I saw everyone's in this event, and I was so excited about that. But I was like, we can't fly Bones out,
Yeah.
so I thought I'd feature him in our end of the year podcast.
Oh.
Now, Bones is another member of Funhaus. He doesn't work here with us in the office. He,
He writes all the descriptions.
writes all the descriptions, does all the title, does a lot of back end stuff. And he's a true hero of like the YouTube land.
That he is.
And he was in this tabletop RPG that
That
we
he
did.
was.
Yeah, and it was really great. Now, John Smith, how are you?
Oh, that's a. What do you want to know?
You're right. You did say we're going to keep this short. So. We're just talking about the end of the podcast here. It's had a lot of lives, and this is its 9th and final, and we're killing it. But we could talk about what is one of your favorite projects that you got to work on this year, like a character or a video or stream, any moment that you felt creatively, this was the best.
I really loved our time with Jeopardy.
Yeah.
That game was amazing, and it was because it was originally a sponsored thing during quarantine.
A long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. So James and I played it, and we were just laughing our ass off. We were like, we don't even know if they're going to want us to use this because the whole video is just the app breaking. But then they still paid us, and we released the video. And so a few years later, I was like, we need to get back to that because that was so fucking funny. And then it was awesome. And I think we lucked out in doing it because for everyone that doesn't know, they shut that service down.
Yeah.
Like not even like they don't sell the game anymore. Like the service that required the text to speech isn't online anymore. So we just can't play that game ever again. So the fact that we were able to get a couple episodes in this year before it went away forever, I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah. And
That
I
was a
think,
fun one.
we were looking for sort of other ways to play a game like that, or even other games that are like that have sort of
So
voice
fucking
activation.
unique.
But it seems like it was pretty.
Yeah, we
unique.
found something else. We have a Wheel of Fortune video coming out. It might actually already be out. I don't know when this
This is
episode
December
drops. The whole
14th.
schedule, because we're
It's
working on
crazy.
all of the videos for the next like 3 months right now. So
We're trying to get a little bit ahead. You know, we've got holidays coming up, and
I guess 2 months. We're currently working towards finishing everything through halfway through July.
yeah, that's true. That's true. What are some things that would be looking forward to doing next year? Is there anything you want to do creatively? Is there anything you want to do here, at Funhaus?
Yes.
Find a new Jeopardy.
Yeah, find a new Jeopardy. Really just get back into the rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
It's been a chaotic year for all of us. And yeah, I'm just looking for maybe some more stability next year.
I think everybody might share that sentiment here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are you not looking forward to what we're doing in February of next year?
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Is that a ween thing or something?
How did
It's
you do
partially, it's related. It's ween
Okay.
adjacent.
that? Yeah.
It's ween adjacent.
Yeah.
2 nights of Ween in Del Mar, California. Everyone come out if you're in the audience and you're in Del Mar.
Well, is there anything that you'd like to talk about on this last episode of the podcast? You had hosted and produced a couple of these episodes in Dude Soup iteration, even
Yeah.
in the Funhaus podcast
Yeah.
iteration, maybe? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you find that it was a lot of work to put one of these together?
No, not at all.
Oh, it's easy
Yeah.
as pie, right?
I would
Cakewalk.
literally, probably about 45 minutes before we started out, just Google current events and find stuff. And yeah.
Why didn't I think to do
How
that?
excited are you to see Godzilla with me tonight?
I'm so fucking stoked. You have no idea.
Me too. I cannot wait.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but they're up.
My hopes aren't up, but I've not been this excited for a movie in a long
About which movie?
Godzilla.
Godzilla and IMAX
Oh,
-1.
I won't spoil anything for you then.
Oh, you saw it?
No.
Son of a bitch.
I'm out of here.
I Googled current events per John's suggestion. It says China world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's
Bleeping and censoring all
Yeah.
of this. Thanks so much, John, for coming by.
Of
on
course.
The and for bringing bones.
Yeah, thank you for bringing bones.
And I'm excited that we're gonna continue to make fun stuff next
Yeah.
year, unless this all gets canceled and then before this podcast airs, in which case,
Oops.
see ya.
My bad.
Thanks for coming by.
all right. Hey, have a good one, y'all.
Are you ready for
Who?
our next guest?
Okay.
Do you see her? She's standing there in front of your face. It's Charlotte Avery.
Charlotte Avery. Oh!
Okay, for
That
audio
was the first on the
listeners,
podcast. I think.
always
wanted to do that.
swung her face right into the camera. Charlotte, how are
Yo.
you?
So good.
You
Hell
are.
yeah.
Charlotte is a former Funhaus Podcast reg.
It's true. Yeah. One time host of the show.
Last year, it was all you on the chair all the time. How do you feel about what Ryan and I have done with the podcast?
You know,
It's great because
Obviously,
you
I've-
didn't have to be here the
I've
whole time.
listened to every episode.
Uh-huh.
I mean, technically, I've listened to part of every episode because I've been doing the audio.
Yes, audio.
this year.
Yeah.
Charlotte does the audio.
I mostly just find where the
treats
waveforms are and then
Uh-huh.
just do some. So just
Drop a little
sweeten it
thing.
up. Yeah, just do a little noise reduction. I do some compressing, some hard limiting.
yeah,
some
she's
EQing.
listening. She goes, "Did someone just fart?"
Has that happened?
I don't know.
Lindsay, silent but deadly every single fucking
Well,
time.
then why would she hear it?
Because I know.
Oh,
Because I know.
just smell it
Those
through the.
waveforms.
We use really good mics. They're
we-
4D.
Yeah, we've just been talking about sort of how the podcast is ending.
Uh huh.
What? Yes,
Sorry.
My baby.
Sorry to break
your
the news.
baby. Sorry to break the news to you.
Tell me
yes.
someone drunk about that dude soup.
Yes, a bowl of dude soup. So, we're moving on, but that's not to say that we didn't have some great fun moments. That we had a show and tell episode that Ryan put together. I remember that.
I kind of forgot about that.
Oh, that was a good time.
That was a fun one.
There was a time
Yeah.
you brought
The way that you just said that was really funny.
you
That was
brought
like
me
the
on
second episode.
as Mom's Home,
Uh-huh.
and then you just proceeded to point out how the lyrics I had written online to share were different from the lyrics in the song, and then you were making jokes off the lyrics, and I was like, yeah, I guess I did. I guess I
Sorry.
did put the wrong words on there, and you're like, interesting. Okay.
I like when Ryan puts something together because he's like kind of half listening, but kind of just trying to get through his own
Yeah, it felt like gotcha
own
journalism, but done by like
He's like,
someone
really?
woo's never taken
That's
a journalism class.
Or seen a news program.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
appreciate the effort. So looking back at 2023, because that's another thing we're doing on this special, very final episode of this podcast. What
Yeah.
is one of your favorite things that you've got to work on this year, creatively at Funhaus? Or I mean, otherwise, if it's like fuck that, I won't talk about Mom's Home. I won't make fun of you for your lyrics, but
Thank you,
as
Lindsay.
far as Funhaus projects go, streams or characters or videos,
I'll say as far as the
or
podcast, the episode where Ryan and I talked about my Sunday scaries was one
That
of
was a
my
good
favorite
time.
conversations.
oh yes,
I've
I was
had.
out of town.
Yeah, we had a
That's fun.
blast.
Thanks for covering.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I just like talking about movies and I like talking about scary movies, especially. So that was a good time. My favorite thing I've worked on at Funhaus in 2023 would probably have to be. I wish I had something to say there. Oh no, the Gmod movie things.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love
we were
that
talking
shit.
about that.
Yeah. Eventually, I do want to do one where Jacob and I wear Usher's outfits, like white shirts, red bow ties, and slacks.
He's going to be at the Super
then-
Bowl halftime show this year.
Jacob.
Jacob?
Usher.
Oh.
Usher.
Oh.
That.
This is my
Yeah,
confession.
okay.
Did you see? Did you see the Dolly Parton halftime Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I
That
did.
Was
Definitely
she
did.
okay?
She definitely was
looked like
leaning on
she was
the
leaning
thing.
on the
line.
star. There was a square in the middle. For anyone's not aware, Dolly Parton did a halftime show because they do those on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But there's a big star in the middle because it's a Cowboys game at the AT&T Stadium. And there's a square where it looks like someone would have risen out and performed on top of it. And I don't know if there was a malfunction or if she, being a 73
She's very old,
woman, she's
yeah.
pretty up there. She's holding it down. She looks great. It looked like she was supposed to be on it. Instead, she stood in front of it and just kind of like wearing massive heels, just kind of loosely supporting herself
Balanced
on
on
the set that was clearly not made as a handrail. Like otherwise, they could have had set dressing. Clearly, I've got some thoughts about this.
Uh-huh.
Set dressing that would have allowed for Dolly Parton to be that old and wear those heels and still have like some support. Or like
One of those
anything
things
else.
that you
Yeah,
stand
it
in,
was
like
so
a Barbie
weird.
doll.
She was like working 9 to 5.
I know.
Very strange. And I think Usher will probably do a lot better job of standing up.
I don't get why it's like, who's thinking about why is he at the top of pop culture right now to be given the halftime of the Super Bowl?
Justin Bieber who he is.
I guess.
He mentored
Shouldn't
Justin
it be T
Bieber.
Swift? When is she going to get her halftime show?
She doesn't need the football team to be there. She sold out like 17 Super Bowls.
I guess
Yeah.
it would be.
She should have. There should be a mid-time in the middle of the Eras tour. There should have been a scrimmage from
And-
two NFL teams.
And if the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah,
so.
Charlotte is right. She doesn't need the football team to do anything because she made football a thing for everybody. Nobody
did?
knew what it was. No, Taylor Swift.
Okay,
well,
hold
let's
on
talk
a
about
second.
let's talk about
was.
the other Kelsey
She
brother
put
who's on the
football
Eagles.
on the map.
Yeah, killing
Jason
it.
Kelsey,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he's probably going to get his
Travis
first Super
Jason?
Bowl on his last season. It's
Pretty
gonna be a
exciting,
pretty
right? Like,
storybook ending.
Travis Kelsey is dating Taylor Swift. What about Jason Kelly?
Kelsey?
Whatever.
Who's Jason Kelly?
Jason Kelsey.
Huh? Jesus Christ, it's Jason Kelly.
Jason Kelly.
I don't know. We've had magicians. We've had the brothers of Taylor Swift boyfriends. We had Michael Vick.
These are all in Funhouse
So,
videos?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia
Oh,
Eagles. Yeah.
Got it. I gotcha. You're right. You're right.
I'm trying to like
Feagles.
pack a podcast worth of
Pop-
unrelated tangents and offshoot thoughts into as short a time as possible.
We love that.
So
You're nailing it.
I'm trying to make sure that we get really the vibe of like 8 different conversations.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything specific that you're looking forward to doing next year creatively at Funhouse?
Kicking back.
Kicking back.
Kicking back the
next year at
podcast.
Funhouse? I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. But I'm looking forward to whatever happens content wise. I mean, like, I don't really think of things very far in advance. I know I want to do more of the movie videos. I have some other content ideas. I mean, we're producing and shooting things already that are going to come out in 24.
That's true.
So there's a couple series that I will say that I'm coming back a little bit more onto the screen. I haven't really been in a lot of
Here she
gameplays
is.
in the second half of 23.
Welcome back.
Just because I needed to take a step back, but
Yeah.
you're
were
going to be
out for
getting a
bit too,
lot
so-
of me between a couple
Buckle in.
series, some offshoots, Hitman, you know, All of it.
Sunday Scaries for 2024 lined up. What are the beginning ones?
Oh, Jesus. Well, I just watched Misery.
Oh, hell yeah.
Had you seen it before?
No.
Oh.
I'd never seen
Love
Misery
Misery.
before.
Thrilling.
So good.
Very good.
Kathy Bates. an
Memphis'
icon.
own
Really?
from Memphis, yeah.
Good for her. And Memphis.
Thank you.
Not for James Caan.
No.
Yeah, and I was James Caan's #1 fan. My friend almost hit him with a car.
And just to tie it back to today, Misery, directed by Rob Reiner, who was Meathead in All in the Family, which was made by Norman Lear, who died today.
Well, now you're dating the podcast.
Wow, rip.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Well, let's take it back. Directed by
Google that.
Rob Reiner, director and supporting star of Spinal Tap, which
This
is getting a
Spinal Tap.
sequel.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Look at that.
they look old. They look old, man.
Would you ever
$10.
have do something as Mom's Home and do a Ryan Mom's Home collab?
We should.
We
should
did
collab.
play Unusual Tuesdays together that
We
one
did. That was
time.
fun. Yeah.
Which I heard has gone away because the
Yeah.
bar closed.
Well, I mean, Unusual Tuesday will come back, but they just the bar closed. So
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
gonna have a new
Maybe we should
spot.
do like a what was that? There was that like music festival that helped the world.
We
Live
are
Aid.
the
Live Aid,
world.
yeah.
We should do a
We should do
Live Aid.
Aid, yeah.
What's our cause?
Oh.
Lindsay's bank account.
Fiscal inequality and content creation.
Okay.
Probably getting raises.
All right. Well,
Getting
we'll
raised.
brainstorm our causes and we'll get back with you with the new Live Aid update.
Yeah, that's true. Charlotte, do you have anything else you'd like to add on this finale podcast episode of the Funhouse
when's
Podcast?
this come out?
December 14th,
Nice.
2024.
Oh, okay,
No,
so
23.
3. Oh my God.
You have to wait a whole
You guys
year.
just locked yourself into another year of
God
podcasting.
damn it.
I will plug a couple things.
Oh.
I will plug the new episode of Please Be Nice to Me, where we are joined by Freddie, Beth, and Anthony from Dungeons and Daddies.
Banger
Who
episode.
came by. There's some really great stuff that happens, really funny moments, and it gets really heartfelt and sweet in a way
Aw.
that was really nice. So get that while the getting's good, and then stream my EP, my Mom's Home EP.
Hell yeah.
4 songs out 12/15. So if you're a very early listener, they're out tomorrow. If you're listening to this podcast like anyone else, they're out already. So go stream Mom's Home. Support me on Bandcamp. That's what I got. I guess be good to one another
Be good.
and to me.
Wise
especially.
words, everyone. Thank you, Charlotte, for coming on
Well,
the
you
Funhouse Podcast.
didn't call it Please Be Good to Me. You called it Please Be. Thank you for coming. See you next time. Bye, Charlotte.
Bye, Charlotte.
Thanks, guys. And we cut.
Yep.
I just have to get up and
You just have to get up and
I have
go.
to
Get out of here, please.
Don't forget your Coke
I
Zero.
do still have the Sunday Scaries list. We can talk.
We all will
about.
talk soon.
Ryan, are you ready for who's next?
How
You
many
might
beers?
get fired live on the air because it's your boss, Omar de Armas.
Welcome, Omar.
The middle seat.
The middle
Middle
seat,
seat.
special middle seat guest. Why do
The
you?
fuck?
Why did you? Okay, Omar just slapped down a jar of Vapor Rub on the table for.
I got my Vivaporoo. I'm ready to go.
What is this? Are you on drugs?
You never had that stuff? It's good. You put all over your chin.
You want to
I-
hit? You want to
No,
hit?
I hate the way that stuff smells.
You want to hit?
Okay, they're smelling Vapor Rub.
Ooh.
Omar, thanks for joining us in our discussion today. We're having everybody here on the Funhouse team through just talk about some of our favorite moments from 2023, how we feel about the podcast going away, even though we're doing another podcast, just not this podcast. It's a film movie podcast, and talking about some
Right now.
stuff that we're looking forward to in the new year. So, what is like one of your favorite moments? Funhouse moments from this year. Something
From
that
this
we
year?
did creatively, or a project or a stream, a moment.
Like a specific one? I mean, I think my whole thing is just like we did fucking everything this year. We did so much stuff, and everyone kicked their ass, or everyone kicked ass.
Okay.
Did super good getting us through this year. We started streaming like crazy. Those have
Yeah.
been super fun. Done very well for us.
That's crazy. That's all pretty much new this year.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
those streams.
nothing from last year is a thing anymore. We streaming this year going crazy. Memberships this year going crazy. We started putting out more special things, special videos and stuff. People working their ass off, getting all that stuff done. I think my favorite thing this year is the team doing all this stuff.
That's so sweet.
Thank you, Omar.
Well, we're going to quit doing this stuff specifically, but that's so we can have more room to do other.
We got other
stuff.
Podcast ideas. Other podcasts will come through.
And like I was saying earlier, there's another podcast that Funhaus is producing, and it's the Trash for Trash podcast. So.
Trash for Trash is cool. That's a cool thing that started this year. James and Patrick.
So, and James, commented maybe there's other niche topics or fun little sort of groupings that we can maybe produce podcasts that are just like, oh, here's a couple one-offs, or here's a little limited run podcast series. That would be great. Ryan's passionate about podcasts.
I'm passionate about podcasts.
Oh, really?
I am.
That surprises me.
When I have time to make them, I think I would be good at it.
When you have time to make them. Okay, that's a good caveat, I guess.
Yeah, when you have time.
You think you would be good at it when you have time to do it.
Yeah.
Ryan's getting a little bit loopy because this podcast is going to go a little bit longer than our normal podcasts go.
Yeah, and we're 35 minutes behind. Jeez, already?
No, we just wanted to make sure that everybody got to come on here and have a little moment on the last podcast finale. And I feel like it makes it a little bit special for the listeners and the viewers, and it's the last one. So
yeah. So it's the last one of this podcast, the Funhaus podcast in this iteration, which is the third version
definitely
of
We
this.
were trying to figure
at
out
least
earlier.
the third.
It's at least 3, right?
Something like that.
Something else will come around like this. Yeah. Don't never say never
Circle
to
of
stuff.
life.
Yeah.
Right. Never say never. It's just, if we definitely won't be doing this. At least I won't be here doing this for a while.
That's what you think.
Oh, no. Welcome to the Lindsay and Omar podcast.
I'd love to see that.
But is there anything that you're looking forward to next year for Funhaus?
Next year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to like having space to do fun things again.
Yeah.
So like building into our plan, because we've been running pretty hard for a while.
It does feel like we've been sprinting.
We've been sprinting for a long time. But I do hope that next year we can find the space to do like the bigger, weirder, fun things that people have on their brains.
Yeah.
I know Ryan's got a lot of dumb ideas. I'm sure you've got awesome ideas. This year we had, with All Good No Worries, like you had a show that was going, that was extra on top of everything else. Charlotte had a show.
That was a
Elise
crazy
had a
moment
show.
too. Sometimes I feel like I don't remember basically what happened January through July because I felt like my brain was constantly ticking.
We are halfway through. When is this? I don't even know when this comes out, but we are halfway through December of this year already.
Yeah.
We moved into this office just over a year ago.
Yeah.
Feels like it feels like forever ago, but also I remember vividly what was going on, so it feels like yesterday.
Yeah. I remember walking through this space, touring it on the phone with you because you couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to like, and then look at this, and you're like, ask this, and I'm like, excuse me, but I remember that like that was yesterday as well. So
it's crazy. This year has flown by, and there's so much stuff that we want to do that we just couldn't because we didn't have the time. That's the thing. I'm looking forward to making sure that stuff happens.
Finding the time.
Yeah.
And stuff like this where we're sort of gonna say goodbye to this podcast, like you're saying, for a while, maybe not forever, but like I think that gives time back to Ryan and I to really put into some other stuff to be a part of other stuff.
Now you're
your
on
passion's
it.
gonna take a nap.
Yeah, no excuses anymore. No fucking podcast holding you back.
More editing times, music to my ears.
There you go. Is there anything else you'd like to tell everybody who's listening or watching the last episode? Anything else that you'd like to add?
Thank you, I guess.
That's always nice.
Thank you for all, especially all the people who are doing, patrons of our stuff.
Yeah.
All the members, all the people who are in the live streams, keeping that stuff going. Super rad.
Yeah.
It has been like fulfilling.
Yeah.
To see that kind of feedback.
Keeps us going for sure, because it's really hard to do it without that feedback. That's very clear feedback of, hey, we like this and we want to keep seeing it. Ryan, do you have anything to add? You got anything to ask your boss?
No, I thought that was very well put. I think we already, did you already say your favorite video that we put out this year?
My favorite video?
Yeah, do you have a favorite video that we did?
I'm not going to be able to think of one right now off the top of my head. I feel like there were so many good, crazy things.
Yeah. There was a lot of...
I feel like, and there's so many videos. There are so many videos. I'm not going to be able to think of one. But I'm going to think of like there's a couple of like really awesome stream times. Yeah. I get to engage more with streams personally, just like being there and stuff, because it's like, I can pop in, casual, pop out. Yeah. You know, things are busy for me during the day, so I don't get to like do a bunch of stuff. Also, like, I'm not on a lot of videos. I'm not that kind of.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not.
What about demo wheels?
I mean, yeah, demo wheel is crazy. Like, I don't get to do a lot of. I choose not to participate in a lot of videos because that's not the kind of thing I feel like I offer strength. That's not my strength to offer to all the stuff that's going on. Not the kind of work
you want to focus on, really?
Well, I mean, it's just, I don't think I got a lot to offer there.
I disagree. You're always
I was trying to give you a nicer way to say it for yourself.
But, you know, like the streams are fun to pop in on. It's super fun to see that like real-time feedback from people that are super stoked on what we're doing. The trucking stuff has been awesome. Just like, that's like a recent example. Every time we have guests come through and do stuff, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to have more guests.
There's been way too many to highlight a specific thing.
I think you're a funny foil straight man to the you as the boss figure of the thing and the grand show that is Funhaus.
It is really
works.
It is really funny when I watch like an old video and there's a joke about you and then it cuts to you like. it's really
I wish that was on purpose. I just don't know what to say.
I like that you my favorite thing that you've done this year is you got an Alamo Draft House pass so that now you come to me and you say that you've actually seen movies. And
I've been seeing movies. I've been talking to Ryan.
I love it.
Ryan was like the most out there. I had to find a way to connect with him. I went and got a movie.
This is the easiest way.
No, it's been rad.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much for coming by, spending some time here to chat with us. And
now get back to work.
One other hit.
Why do you have this paper rub?
Viva Peru. It's the same. It's the salve that saves everything.
Oh, all right. Get out of here. Omar, everybody.
Omar, everyone.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break so we can hear a word from this week's sponsors. Happy holidays. It's the season of giving, but you've already given enough to your internet service provider if you haven't been using ExpressVPN every time you've gone online this year. And I'm not just talking about the enormous internet bill you pay every month. Every time you go online without ExpressVPN, your provider can see and log every single website that you visit, and they can sell your browsing activity to third-party advertisers for huge profits. That's why I'm done giving to my internet service provider. I always go online with ExpressVPN. The app encrypts and reroutes 100% of my network data through their secure servers, so my provider can't say a thing. It couldn't be easier to use. Simply fire up ExpressVPN on any of your devices, phone, laptop, whatever, tap one button to connect, and that's it. I've got ExpressVPN hooked up to everything, my computer, my router, my phone. I just need to know that I am safe on the internet. You've given enough to your ISP this year. It's time for you to start taking. So take back your internet privacy today with the VPN rated #1 by TechRadar and Mashable. Visit expressvpn.com/funhouse and get 3 extra months of ExpressVPN for free. That's expressvpn.com/funhouse. expressvpn.com/funhouse to learn more. Do you remember your first holiday ever? Probably not, but I bet your parents do. And they have pictures to prove it. Probably a lot of pictures to prove it. But even if they have 1 or 2 on the wall, there's a ton they haven't seen in years. You can put all those amazing childhood Christmas photos in a place where your parents can actually see them. An Aura digital frame. Aura was named the #1 digital frame by Wirecutter, The Strategist, and Wired. And it doesn't even have to be just your pictures. In the app, you can add other members so your siblings and cousins and friends can all upload their own photos too. There's unlimited storage, so you don't even have to fight over it. And your loved ones can swipe the top of the frame to get past all the photos of everyone else and get to the solo shots of you, as I'm sure they'll want to do. I have an Aura frame. I love it. I'm giving one to my mom for Christmas, and I'm loading it up with all the pictures of my dog and me. And you know what? Maybe I won't even share it with my siblings because then it's just pictures of me. Visit auraframes.com today and get $30 off their best-selling frames with the code FH FHPod. These frames sell out quickly, though. So get yours before they're gone. That's AURAFrames.com with the promo code FHPod. Terms and conditions apply. What do you call a person who speaks 3 languages? Trilingual. What do you call a person that speaks 2 languages? Bilingual. What do you call a person who speaks 1 language? American. Only 22% of Americans speak a language other than English at home, but this winter you can be the exception, not the rule, because with Babbel, you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations. All of the tips and tools for learning a new language are rooted in real-life situations and delivered with conversation-based teaching. I've been using Babbel to learn Spanish. I love how convenient and easy it is to use to learn sort of real-life conversation skills. It's so easy to pick up on how to order food or speak to merchants, ask for directions, all without having to consult like the language app. Love it. Here's a special limited time deal for our listeners to get you started right now. Get 55% off your Babbel subscription, but only for our listeners at babbel.com/FHPod. Get 55% off at babbel.com/FHPod. Spelled BABBEL.com/FHPod. Rules and restrictions may apply. Welcome back. And we have more people from Funhaus coming to chat with us today. Are you ready?
What? Too many people here.
Okay, up next, he's probably been the number 1 guest on this iteration of the podcast. Do you know who's coming over?
Rick?
No, it's Jacob Thornton!
Well, Rick's usually in the voiceover thing. Okay, I know what you're doing.
Clap, Ryan.
Clap for me.
Hey, friends. It's been a little while.
Jacob.
We haven't
big girl?
We haven't busted in a while.
We haven't busted
We
in a
haven't
while.
busted.
We haven't simped in a
We haven't
while
sipped
together.
in a while.
Time.
So I do want to say we are going to do a very, very brief bust.
I think that should be the
briefest-
entire Jacob segment. We have to bust
It's the
the rest
briefest
of the
bust.
Golden Bachelor.
Let's
But I-
What the fuck is all
I
I
also
thought?
want to, sorry, were you singing Creed when you sat down?
No.
Oh,
That's just
okay, he's lying.
came up with that.
I saw the clip and I know your secret.
My secret?
Yeah.
What's my secret?
The secret that Creed is his number 1 song this year.
We talked about that on
Yeah.
the stream yesterday. Yeah.
Well, now we're talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah,
so.
no.
Oh, what's my secret?
that was your secret. Yeah,
That's not a
You
secret,
should.
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You should want to hide that, is what she's implying.
Yes.
Now everybody knows now.
Everybody knows
It was
now.
my top song on my
You
Spotify
said it, I
Wrapped.
saw it on your stream clip.
I was real high
Anyways,
on that clip.
this is it for the Funhaus podcast. It's the last episode.
Wow.
And so
Let's bust, baby.
Let's
Golden
bust.
Bachelor. Can you believe that he fucking went with her?
With
What's her-
Teresa?
Teresa.
Teresa.
I didn't see
Leslie?
that coming.
that was a
Over
surprise.
Leslie, and who was the person right before that? The third person.
There was Faith, and then Faith was number 4, and then there was somebody else who was number
I did
3.
not expect number 3.
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Was Leslie the motorcycle person? or
No, that was Faith.
That's Faith.
Okay,
Leslie,
yeah.
Leslie was like a dancer and
right.
stuff.
Okay, Faith, I think.
Leslie were the ATVs, though.
I thought
think.
Faith was going to be the finalist with Leslie, and then it turned out
Who
that
was the third one? Was it? Oh, it,
it
was Faith. It was
Yeah,
Faith.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
And then Faith gets out. I'm like, oh wow, big fucking. That was crazy.
was
And then I
crazy.
did not expect Teresa at all. I mean, obviously they misled us in the editing. Those fucking.
They must
Yeah.
have had a hell of a
Well,
conversation.
I've read a lot
that
about
overnight.
it. Yeah, and I go, okay, well, Teresa got money.
She got money? I didn't know that.
That was a part of it. You think?
Oh, she's like, yeah.
Safety,
She's got
security. She's been in a relationship. They have all sorts of commonalities.
That part I
between,
get,
like,
yeah.
yes, like their relationship history, where Leslie is a free spirit and she's a wild card, and she has explicitly said, "Oh, I have turbulence in my relationships," and it's like, if you kind of have 2 women, and you're like, I really like both of them. This one offers security and comfort, and we have these things in common. This one is like,
Okay.
this
But
other aspect.
Even with that being said, it's like that doesn't excuse Gary misleading her so bad. He fucking.
there was clearly
a-
some conversations, and you know what? I think it was maybe like pillow talk type thing.
It was a rough breakup.
That
That's for
motherfucker.
sure.
Yeah.
It was
a
really-
rough breakup.
yeah.
I kind of like foresaw some of this because he was throughout the show handing out roses left and right.
Uh-huh.
We're just like
candy.
Yeah, he's like, you look kind of sad. I'm going to give you a rose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. His voice is so funny.
That's what he sounds like.
It is what he sounds like. Now, there has been some stuff that came out after the
You
fact.
told me a little bit about this.
Are you
but I
talking
don't know
about like
exactly
the
what it
fact that I thought that Hollywood Reporter article was fucking gross?
I
in my
didn't read the
opinion.
article. I just
Oh, I
had
didn't see it.
read
I haven't read
like
anything.
snippets, and
It's like, yeah, whatever. He dated somebody for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like not a huge. And then the fact
Oh, is that what it is?
He had, he's supposedly a retired restaurateur, but really his restaurant ended in like the 80s, and he's been a handyman forever. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, well, that stuff, yeah. I don't care.
It's like
That sounds trivial.
it was supposed to be like a big expose.
The
on
T was that, he lied and he has dated somebody. And not only did he date somebody, but they moved in with him. And then there's a bunch of snippets that are, I think, hearsay, mostly just like this woman said that these things happened. So you never know whether it's true or not. But basically it was like, and he called me fat and he said I couldn't go to this thing with him. And he asked me for money and he used to make me give him money before we would go out to eat. So that way he would look like he was paying the bill. So it's like this kind of stuff.
Right. I mean, look, is Gary a perfect guy? Who knows? Even all those things, though, in the article, it was all just kind of, like, to me, not petty, but just like things that are in a relationship that, all right, you're probably dealing with.
And it's like, what did you do? Sometimes I go, what did you do?
Well, without even getting into that, it just, to me, the whole article didn't really even rise to the level. It was like, they made it seem like a big expose, and then it was just nothing.
Yeah, it sounds like something from like high school. Or something.
It was
like,
just
all right,
trying to get dirt on Gary.
Yeah, gross. Whatever. You can't dirty Gary. He's our golden boy.
In the end, he's gonna live happily ever after. They're going to Italy or
so we're
whatever.
happy for Teresa and Gary.
Yeah, I'll have a
whatever.
good time.
Who cares?
It was a fun show to watch.
I need to see Ellen as the Golden Bachelorette. That's who I want to see.
Ellen DeGeneres?
No, Ellen, the woman from the show.
Oh.
I want to watch more Susan. Susan was awesome.
Oh, from Delco?
I also just need. I think I need a reality show watching these women.
They were great.
They were
Them all
great.
just together in a small house together. Not small.
So good.
How awesome! Yeah, Susan. Did you see that clip of her farting all over the mansion?
Oh, which one? They're all farting all over the mansion. Wait, who was the woman
in the show?
And I would too.
The woman who did the long fart. What was her name again?
That was Susan.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
Well, Susan was farting, but it was the
guacamole she was blaming it on.
Well, she was farting everywhere, but during the bloopers, during the blooper reel, during the tell-all, the woman that she's like, give me 1 sec.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anyways.
Oh,
she had the big hair.
No, her name's not
Jesus.
Natasha.
I don't
Natasha
remember.
was this other lady.
It was a good fart. It was solid. Solid fart. Sandra. It was Sandra, yeah.
She's great.
She ripped like the...
Oh, yeah. Sandra.
And it had like Jesse's face. They were showing Jesse's face when it happened, and he was just like...
It was so good.
She's the one that left for her, or she didn't go to her daughter's wedding.
Right. Yes. Which I was like, what?
I'm like,
That's
maybe
crazy.
it was the third wedding. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. This whole podcast turned me into just a reality person.
Yeah.
I'm just here to talk about reality.
Yeah. How have you
TV.
felt over this year on the Funhaus podcast? You've sort of watched
I've had a great time.
A lot of reality.
I was like,
TV.
I've been around for Funhaus Podcast for years and years and years. I still remember my first one. I talked about Titanfall 2. I was on just to talk about Titanfall 2.
We won't be talking about any of that.
And here I am talking about Golden Bachelor.
Farts.
Yeah.
Golden Bachelor farts.
Bachelor.
I think
so
the
far.
first time I was ever on the channel at all was during a Dude Soup when they came to get my Game of Thrones finale take.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't even remember what it was.
I'm like, what year was that? Wasn't that not until 2019?
Maybe.
It was a long time ago.
It's been
Was
a
that
long
your
time.
first time?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That was like 4 years ago.
Right.
That's bonkers.
Well, there will be no more busting, but maybe we'll do like social for busting for Bachelorette for Ben. What's his name?
Oh,
Dave?
Joey.
Joey. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
thought was a
Thank
real
you.
cutie.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was your pick when we did our thing.
Ooh,
so
and he
maybe
got his
we'll have
heart
to do
broken.
some social, like Instagram lives or something where we break it down. Busting for Bachelorette Live.
Or we we do a gameplay. We're playing like, I don't know, GTA or something, but we'll just talk about Bachelor the whole time.
I love
We'll just
it.
turn it
Oh,
into
I
a golden-
love
yeah.
it.
We'll just trick whatever fourth person's there into playing GTA so we can talk about Bachelor.
I love it.
And real quick before you go,
Yeah.
we have obviously before busting for Bachelorette, we were simping for Survivor.
That's
Are you
true.
Current, Jacob.
Well, since I just finished Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise is just about to end, I'm gonna be simping for Survivor after that.
Oh, you're gonna binge up till
Yeah.
Okay, you got a
100%.
lot of
How many
of catching
episodes
up
are
to do.
out?
It's great.
Like 7.
Oh, that's not that
Y'all
many.
are like,
But they're longer
That's
now.
easy.
they're an hour and a half a piece. It's 7 movies.
That's easy.
It's time. Oh God, that's so much. Shit.
I know.
Oh my
To be
God.
honest, I mean, I love Survivor. I would say the 90-minute format is great most of the time. Sometimes I'm just kind of like, this does not need to be 90 minutes. This is
Yeah.
This is too long.
I'll get through it.
Be an hour.
Cut the
get through
fluff.
it. I've
Cut
heard
the
it's
fluff.
great.
Yeah, get the fluff.
I can't wait to start simping and busting again.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be great.
2024, lots of simping and busting left.
Hell yeah.
Now, we did have to talk to you most of this time about bussin' and simpin'.
Of course.
But
So we have 30 seconds left for the remaining of this.
for if you have anything that you'd like to say about this year at Funhaus, what was like one of your favorite moments?
Oh, of this year,
Yeah.
I've had a great time doing the live streams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob has
You've
had
been
a
great
large
producing
role
it, yeah.
in making sure all those streams are running smoothly twice a week for the last 50 weeks.
Like they're super fun. Like we all get to just like kind of just hang out and have fun and stuff. Like the trucker stuff has been really fun, unexpectedly.
yeah.
Elden Ring, like it's all been super
Elden
fun. And it's
Boys.
been a different dynamic to be able to explore with everybody that we all work
Different
with and stuff.
groupings of people is really nice.
It's like we're just in this room for 4 hours and we're just talking and playing games and having a great time. And the audience seems to like that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a highlight for me for sure.
So are you looking forward to more of that next year?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm already
You got
excited
big
for
ideas?
Oh, I got
Oh,
big ol'
Jacob's got big
We're all
ideas.
cooking up in here. But I'm already excited for next week's streams. Like that's going to be a lot of fun.
That's true.
The future.
Technically,
is
it
bright.
will be this week because
Oh yeah. So whatever, we played Lethal Company and it was fun.
That was that was.
It was
fun.
so
It
fun.
was so fun.
The game we played.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say on this final finale episode?
Thanks for watching the Funhaus Podcast for all these years. It's been super fun, and this iteration especially has been warm and fuzzy,
Thank you, Jacob.
which I
We
feel great
appreciate
about.
you.
Go watch
We
Star
love you.
Boys. I got to go
There
work
you
on
go.
more
Go watch
Star
Star
Boys
Boys.
right now.
Yeah.
Well, high
Later,
five you
Jacob.
both. Can't wait to bust. Can't wait to simp some more. I will see you next time. Not really, because there's no more.
Oh, bye, Jacob, for the last time.
Oh,
on
Jacob
the Funhaus
Fullerton on the
Podcast.
Funhaus Podcast. Ryan, are you ready for the next guest?
Bring him on.
It's John Holland.
What up, John? Oh,
What's this I hear about Jacob busting? Are we doing milking tables finally? Is that idea finally making it to? Is it replacing the podcast? The milking table podcast? Yes.
Welcome, John Holland. That's the
greenlit.
only way I can move
Milking
on
table.
from that.
Listen, you know my stick. Sexy.
John, how are you?
I am good. I am. I feel like I've been gone for a month. What the fuck?
You were traveling, so
Rusty. Yeah.
lucky.
Not just traveling. John Holland was traveling in Holland.
That's right.
Special.
That's so crazy because you were there just after I was there, and I was so excited looking at your posts every day. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I had such a good time. Like I didn't expect to be traveling as much because the Europe trip was already planned because we wanted to be Hollands in Holland. But then I went to the DR for a week because I think I told y'all like a whole bunch of shit happened last year with this resort, and they were like, "Hey, here's a free week on us," and I was like, "Y'all gave that to me way too easy. I feel like y'all are going to like close soon." So I was like, "Let me cash that shit in now." So I was in a DR for a week, came back for half a week, then went right back to Europe.
That's
Hell
so
yeah.
crazy.
Never doing that again. That was stressful
That's-
and tiring, but fun. So much fun.
Seems like a lot. So you're welcome to the finale.
Hey, man.
We've just been Ryan. What have we been talking about?
Everything.
Everything.
Funhouse, basically.
Funhouse.
The year.
Mhm.
Favorite video.
Mhm.
You have one of the year?
that you worked on, that
Give
you were
me,
part of. that
I mean the streams,
edited.
but that's not necessarily it.
Well, the streams is
Streams have been
content.
some people's answers.
Gorilla VR was a lot of fun, and
That was a
and
blast.
Kingpin. It's between those two, just because it was so fucking stupid.
Didn't you guys do that Twisted Metal this year too?
We did, yeah.
That was-
So that was a lot of fun because that's
Oh,
something
yeah.
from like 2019. Me and James have been talking about. So like that, seeing that finally come to fruition was great.
Nice. And I mean, we had a lot of good big event streams. We did
Those are always fun.
Drunk Zelda,
Yeah,
where John Smith used his phone to open a beer bottle. But
that was amazing. Like, there's some fantastic content. The way
right
there.
sacrificing your own personal items for
Yeah.
for content.
and what
is
was the
awesome.
other game that we did the drunk stream of, where we were changing costumes?
It was
and stuff?
one,
It was
two.
like a Mario.
One,
Oh,
Two-
it was
yeah,
One Two Switch.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good too.
Those were both fun, but I just want to switch and only do high streams now because then I don't
Yeah.
feel so fucking sick the next day.
I guess because my tolerance is so high, like I look forward to it. I'm like, yeah, bring that Friday on.
Bring that Friday
Hell
on.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
Should I answer the scammer on the podcast? All right.
Hello. Spam
Oh
risk.
no, it's one of those ones where it's going to be like beep beep bloop.
Beep beep bloop. Can you tell us What, if anything, are you looking forward to next year, like with Funhaus, Team Funhaus? Anything you're like, oh, I really want to work on this. You want to make a new album with Ryan?
We have a Holland and Haley music collab.
Man,
we've been talking.
If we can pull that off in like a reasonable amount of time, that would be amazing. I know we've talked about, me and Ryan have talked about doing some more musical stuff. More crew commentaries. I wouldn't mind getting my feet a little bit more wet. Doing like producing more things for the channel, because like I'm not in the mix of gaming. I don't have my finger on the pulse, but like slowly you all have been like pulling me into it. It was like, oh, okay, I know about this game coming out, and here's a cool little concept. So more VR stuff, because I want to see Ryan break shit. Even though
you produced the Gorilla one, right?
Yeah,
that was yours.
That was a perfect setup. But definitely doing more music stuff. I feel like I kind of got away from that for a while, but getting more of that in, and then just more event streams. Those have just been like great to do. Like just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Playing disc golf and basketball.
Yes. So both of you are part of the outdoor adventure
crew.
Yeah. It's been you,
Jacob and James. Yeah.
And so, somebody's got to get in there and maybe show you guys how it's done. I don't know.
I mean, you tried to show us how it was done on the disc golf, and
Nobody saw that.
I don't think the done got done. Oh, really? No, it came out.
I saw it in an edit. I had a perfect.
You have to pay to see it. You got to pay for the women.
Membership. I had a 4 hole-in-ones in a row. It was insane.
I don't remember that being like that. I remember you just kind of collapsing at the end.
I remember in the editing room it being like that.
But yeah, is there anything else that you want to talk to the Funhaus viewers, the Funhaus Podcast listeners about?
Yeah. Man, what a wild ride. I remember this podcast when I joined Funhaus in 2018 and just the evolution of it. So it's crazy that we're here. If you're not a member, I mean, I know we keep pushing this, but definitely sign up, because the crew commentaries are amazing. That's another thing that I've been wanting to do since 2019. And we finally get to do it. It's such a unique experience, because it's like we get to relive the videos after we've forgotten them and suppressed the memories. And then like you get the kind of like the inside baseball about everything. And you learn like the good accidents, the shortcomings, the things that were intentional but turned into this and all that. And especially like I feel like our audience has like a class of aspiring content creators. And I want them to know like, hey, no matter how much money you throw at this shit, something's going to go wrong. So be prepared for it. Don't get discouraged. And hopefully you can learn from us, like just divulging all the stuff that goes on. But I love watching it, even though I set it up,
Yeah.
And Poor Choices Kitchen, follow that. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of next year. So let's go ahead and do that.
Oh yeah, the three of us did the John and Lindsay cook-off where Ryan had to pick out food and then go eat it. So that was a member exclusive video that came out this year, and actually it was one of my. If I haven't asked myself or Ryan this question yet, but that was one of my favorite moments, was doing that cook-off video.
Yeah.
It definitely, when we were in the moment, I had the Couch Hop cook-off vibes, which a lot of people in the comments were the cook-off vibes or cooking show vibes. And I just love that kind of environment.
It was great. Like I watched it, I just sniggled and giggled so much just watching it. I was like, damn, I kind of wish this wasn't behind the paywall. We totally got to do another one. That's something else I want to look forward to. If we could do like 2 more of those in such unique ways. I know we have one plan that I think is going to be great. I don't know what a third one could be. We'll have to see how this one goes, if we can catch lightning in a bottle again. But that was like a lot of fun. We did that one like a Friday, I think. Or was that during the middle of the week?
I don't remember when we recorded it, because it was so long ago that we finally. It took forever to record it.
Yeah.
But that was really fun, and I would look forward to doing more stuff like that. So,
So
I just brought it up because shout out your cooking show, which I think is so cool too.
Thank you.
So I want to cook.
You need to come on.
I know.
Yeah, it's my shooting schedule is so shitty for the show, because I do it on Saturdays like early.
Yes, I won't be doing that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I don't like getting drunk early. I don't get as drunk on screen anymore, by the way. For those who are concerned about me at the beginning of the show, I don't do that. I kind of just sip wine, and then later in the evening is when I'll turn up. Unless you're a guest. Then, Lindsay, I got to get you fucked up.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for coming by.
Of course.
John Holland.
Thank you, John.
And
Thank you.
we appreciate you.
See you at band practice.
John Holland. All right. Please welcome. It's the voice of the God thing that you were talking about earlier. It's the Wizard of Oz. Welcome our podcast technical director, one of the best guys here, Rick.
The man behind the curtain, Rick.
Look at that. I mean,
Look
give
at
us
us.
an amazing shout out.
Look at us.
I
We
know.
made it here.
Who would have
made
thought?
Thank you. We made it a year, guys.
So for anybody who, is not aware, Rick is always behind the scenes TDing this podcast. He's camera switching. He's there listening, taking notes sometimes, adding commentary occasionally. So, welcome to the table.
Thank you. This is a nice little table.
What was your favorite podcast of the year? As from listening to it from your
Favorite
vantage point.
podcast
Yeah,
of
which
the
episode?
year.
Which episode?
I know you guys are going to say the Rick podcast, but that's not it. It's all the Am I the Asshole podcast.
Those one?
Yeah,
like
those
those?
episodes.
Were you laughing a lot back there? Sometimes I can hear your laugh.
It's so,
across the room.
that feels so good when you can hear it echoing across.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just the discussions you guys have from that. I mean, I like to see who plays devil's advocate the most.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that shouldn't be that way. No, you're the asshole if you think about that. I mean, it's just fun seeing how your guys' mind works. In
I think
like that.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of fun moments where we learned something new about Ryan, and it's hard for me to. I feel like at this point, it's hard for me to learn something new about you and be like totally surprised.
Yeah.
I think now, if I learn something new about you, I'm just like, that makes a lot of sense.
Because of this podcast?
Yeah, just because I'm working with you now for a while, and
Yeah, it's amazing to see how Ryan works.
Works?
Yeah. Just
Thank
like
you.
how you operate.
Yeah, how you operate, like
how those gears are
how those
turning.
gears are grinding. It's amazing, dude. Like you literally turn chicken shit into like chicken salad. Like, it's amazing.
Chicken shit into
It's
chicken salad.
amazing because the whole pig thing, I fucked that up. And I just handed Ryan just complete chicken shit, and he just made something out of it. So
the pig video?
Yeah.
Oh, that was filmed. That was fun.
Nah,
But,
dude. Nah, man.
But thank you, Rick.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
man.
that's so
Appreciate
sweet.
you.
At first, I was like, "What are you to pig? You got him a pig?"
But yeah, the pig video that Ryan lost in.
Right.
Yeah.
We've already gone over that. How
We've already gone over
it's
these
on the-
sporting events.
I'm going to edit the rest of that video, and everyone's
No, it's
gonna
all
know.
right.
Yeah. So that was one of your favorite podcasts. Is there a favorite production or stream or I mean, you know all the questions we've been asking because you've been listening.
Favorite production favorite overall production I would say is the Wrestling Battle Royale because that was like one of the first things. Actually, no, the first thing I actually started producing for Funhaus was the Mario Maker 2 video, but that was just like, you know what, I'm into Mario Maker. Let me just get my feet wet, try to see what this whole producing thing is all about. But then like I actually sunk my teeth into the wrestling videos.
Dude,
it
and
was so much
James
fun.
just said that, like that was his number one video of the year.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and the way that you programmed those fights or whatever,
Yeah,
and built each character, right?
Yeah,
Like you
build
did the whole
each
fucking
character.
thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you put a lot of work into that. It's awesome.
Ryan was a huge inspiration because of all your stories. I'm just like, dude, who is this guy? There's just something crazy about Ryan every single time that I hear about him. So obviously you are like my Mick Foley in this whole thing. I seen in the comments, it's like, is Ryan the Three Faces of Foley? So yes, he is the Three Faces of Foley. And that's because this crazy motherfucker right here always has something different. But other than that,
French State Ryan getting his
French
dick
State
shot off
Ryan
was
getting his
definitely
dick
a
shot
highlight. Yeah.
Red State Ryan always got to be there. Alter State Ryan is my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's so
was there a fourth one or
the Ryanator?
The Ryanator, yeah.
But yeah, that was a little one off. But there's going to be more. There's going to be a whole lot more. Other than that, another production that isn't on this channel but did take place here was the Always Open episode with Barb, Charlotte, and Stevie from Mythical.
Okay.
Because it is insane. When Charlotte turns it on, you just see magic happen.
Oh yeah.
And it's so crazy to witness. Like a switch turned on is like, yo, this is gonna be super special. And she killed it that episode. I always tell her,
charismatic, crazy.
it's insane. It's
charm.
super crazy.
Yeah.
But then all the outside videos, Pig, of course, like I hurt my foot the night before Pig, which really upset me because I was gonna kick your guys' asses in basketball. I was so fucking confident. I was like, yo, I haven't shot at basketball in like 3 years, but I know I can still cook these fools. But then I was like,
we sucked.
I was doing like post moves. I was doing footwork shit like at home, and then all of a sudden I felt a pop in my foot, and like I've been limping ever since.
Jesus.
So yeah,
that's bad news.
Bad news. But yeah, like also another crazy thing about this year that I noticed is the growth of everyone. Like it's been really amazing to see, like right before my eyes. Like Lindsay taking the role of channel manager now.
Yeah, co-channel manager.
Co-channel managing with Dan. Like it's just crazy. Like the growth that you and Dan have showed in leading us.
That's really
And, like,
nice
this
to hear. That's
and-
good.
No, like for real, it's like it's crazy because a lot of things got thrown at us. A lot of things like we didn't want to do. Like Ryan, you didn't want to do this podcast.
That's not true. I volunteered.
Can
that
we
was my
actually say
idea.
what happened is yes, Ryan was like, oh, I'll do it. And then I was
Yeah.
like,
And then I'll
he's going to need some help. I was like, I'll help you. So that's how this game
No,
to be.
it's just
But-
good. Like you took on producing roles for this podcast and like you've killed it every time you had something structured. Sometimes you did it like sometimes, but when you do, you knock it out of the park every single time, and that's fucking sick. But like you said, if your sole focus was on this podcast game, you would kill it.
Yeah.
100%.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put way more into my gameplay edits than I did. I feel like I give
Yeah.
myself
And
a
that's why they're so
B
good.
minus C plus maybe in this.
Yeah.
But
But yeah.
it's
Also,
new.
everyone's growth. Jacob, I share an office with Jacob. Seeing him grow into like the producer and like the content creator that he is now.
Jacob's
is
crazy.
crazy.
The-
Insane.
everything that he's done this year.
Patrick's evolution this year is
Yeah.
insane. Like everyone has just stepped their game up to a next
Elevated.
level, and it's super inspiring to see. And like, I don't edit here at all. And when people in the comments call me an editor, I'm like, yo, dude, that's a disrespect to Ryan. Like, first and foremost, I'm like, yo, don't label me in the class of Ryan because I'm nowhere near that. But like, I just, everyone has a role here. I just try to do the best I can, and I hope I'm just.
You're killing it, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
or Rick, you are here. Rick is
Instrumental.
behind the scenes and like everything that you're seeing.
Yeah, it's a one.
There's so much going on.
It's tiring. It takes a lot out of me personally, but I work with an amazing group of people, and they
Yeah.
make me laugh every single time. They're all my friends, and it's just crazy to see just like everyone grow. And I just hope we just keep continuing to grow next year.
Next year. Yeah.
Just get better.
Let's go to more Grizzlies games.
Oh, dude! Actually, I want to talk to you about that because I've started my NBA arena bucket list tour. I'm going to Chicago.
Going to FedEx for him.
When are you going to Memphis? Because I would love to catch up.
I already have my. I'm going to be at the first game Ja is back at over Christmas.
Over Christmas.
So I mean, it's probably too soon.
like, I'm
Yeah, no,
going
I get it. You can't.
No,
come.
because here's my list right now. I wanted to go to Phoenix for the Orlando game during New Year's. It's on December 31st. But I'm also thinking about going to Damian Lillard's return game to Portland at the end of January.
Oh, okay.
So I want to do that. But
Travel in the world.
Yeah, I
yeah.
would love to go to a Memphis game with you. one
We
day.
got to go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's plan that
You
out.
got all
For reals.
2024.
All 2024.
Do you have anything else you want to say to all the listeners?
Nah, just
See you later, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah.
See you later. Have a good one. Fuck all this bullshit. It's fuck this. No, but thank you for rocking us. Like a
Yeah.
lot of change has happened this year, and for you guys to be just sticking with us through all my bullshit, through all their bullshit, just thank you. That's good.
Hell
Love
yeah.
you, Rick.
Rick,
Love you
everybody.
too, guys. Thanks.
Rick, everybody. Ooh. Hey, you ready to talk to another Funhouse fave?
Yeah. Who's
Oh,
that?
it's
Who could that
Patrick Brown.
be? Oh, Patrick
He's
Brown.
already on his
Welcome.
way in.
I'm
Hi,
excited to
Patrick.
make my second appearance on the podcast ever, I think.
What was your other one?
I don't remember. I was on Dude Soup
Okay.
once, but it's not
That
that.
counts.
I remember the
In
show
this
and tell
office?
episode.
In this office?
Yeah, we were over there.
What did you bring to show
Yeah.
and tell?
No, yeah, I did. It might be the only other. No,
I
I was
feel
on once with Elise when you were out.
And early on, too, when we were in that room, we would bring people in a lot more often for random things. But then I always felt like I was bothering people, being like, "Do you want to come do this?" Even though it's like it should technically be part of your job to be able to come do this kind of thing.
I don't know.
But I always felt guilty asking because I go, nobody wants to come stay with me or Ryan.
You were right. You were right on the money.
Well, thank you for being here now on this final episode of this version of the podcast. It's going away. We don't know what's going to happen afterwards. But I've been telling, the listeners, and I was here with James, it's not like Funhouse isn't producing a podcast anymore because we have another podcast.
Yeah.
And you are on that podcast.
Trash for trash.
It's Trash for Trash.
Yeah.
It's James and Patrick talking about shitty movies. We already went over all this, but I just wanted to give you your,
Thank you.
your piece to
Appreciate
say, what do you like about doing that podcast?
Because we get to watch shitty movies.
Oh.
That's all it is I found a way to get paid to watch shitty movies.
Hell
There you
yeah.
Because
go.
we do it on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
We do it right here in the office.
Yeah.
This isn't a thing that we watch at home and then come in. We schedule time on the calendar.
I do. I'm the one who schedules that time. It's like, here's the block. They're unavailable. The boys are unavailable.
I got paid to watch Munchie. So
There you go.
win-win. You seen Munchie?
No, I haven't.
Sucks. You should check it out.
Do you really recommend it?
Yeah, fucking
Well,
puppetry. I feel like you'd like it.
Why do you think I'm trying to get so many of our Discord community events to be watch parties so I could just watch movies?
I mean, yeah, it's great.
It's great. And I think a watch party is fun. But this is neither here nor there. We have been talking about how this podcast is coming to an end. And I've been asking everybody just to kind of maybe say one of their favorite moments, a favorite video. You worked on a lot this year, a lot of different series, from Star Boys to License to Kill, Demo Wheel, Action Packed and Jacked. I'm just
Marvel Mondays, DC Dundays, PC Garbage,
PS
Trash.
So there's so many series that you've been a part
Demo
of.
Wheel.
Did you say Demo Wheel?
I did say Demo Wheel.
Okay.
Okay.
But,
Oops.
Come on.
what is maybe your favorite video? That
Oh, Jesus. From this year?
Yeah, is there one that was like, this was a gut buster?
The Batman one.
That actually, yeah, that's pretty recent. It was really, really fun.
There was something that came up recently that I was like, oh yeah, that was super funny, but I don't remember what it was now. I have a bad memory.
It's okay.
But yeah, recently I'm gonna say Batman.
Batman was
From
great.
this office, or there's a couple demo wheels too. There's a demo wheel where it was all about like cops sucking off mobsters. Was that demo wheel or is that something else?
I
It was
don't
great.
know. I did a
It's great.
couple rough cuts of a couple episodes of Demo Wheel, and it was making me laugh a lot.
It was very good.
And then I would just pass it on and be like, "Here, finish this off." But
It's a bad couple weeks, but it came out.
yeah,
good.
there was so much recording because there was how
You
many
had fun with that?
I had a great time.
how many individual episodes were there, including one that went out on the
14.
YouTube channel every week, and then one that was for members every week.
Yeah, I think it was
For
14
7
total.
weeks, yeah, and we recorded them like that. So
Spam.
spam, yeah. Oh, John Holland got a spam call earlier.
Yeah, I think it was 14 total.
So,
So
and
we
then
added some to the end.
as far as streams go, you were also on a lot of streams this year.
Yeah.
Is there any standout moments, standout events?
Trucker
stream.
Trucker is the one.
It's really fun to watch those.
Elden Boys is fun. I always get fucked in both of those though. Through some, I mean, Elden Ring, I'm just not paying attention. I can't pay attention to a game and stream at the same time. So it's like I'm dying constantly. And Jacob has a weird like whatever. He has a gift. He had video games. And then the truck thing, the controls keep breaking, but they're very fun to do. Otherwise, the live events are really fun.
Like the subathons,
the
events,
subathons
the
have been
actual,
really, those have been really fun.
Yeah.
I like a day where you come in and just know I'm not gonna do shit. I'm not gonna do anything. You still try to edit on those days. I feel like
on what days?
like there's like a subathon where everyone's streaming and you're like still trying to get some editing.
He's just trying to turn
It's
stuff
usually
out.
like a fucking
I totally
deadline
get it.
is
Pretty much
happening.
everyone else is like, I don't have to do shit. I'm gonna hang out or go get lunch or whatever. And you look in and you're like headphones on.
That is one thing though that I will say about here is it's because we try to be so flexible with like all the schedules and being able to put this here and move that there. I think there's very rarely opportunity for like all of us to be like, here, we're taking lunch. This
Right.
is lunch.
Yeah.
So the few times that we've gotten to do that this year have been really nice where we're like, yes, it's all of, I think there was actually maybe only one time where we're all like, we're all at lunch. And it might have been like Elise's birthday or something.
Oh
We're
yeah.
like,
yeah.
This is
Maybe.
lunch. Just because it's difficult to kind of manage 11, 12 people's schedules.
I think
So,
there's more than that. Maybe like 14. Maybe I'm counting Bones, who doesn't work here. I mean, he works here, but he doesn't
yeah,
work
I'm just trying to count
physically
people,
here.
everybody who's in the
Yeah,
office,
yeah.
and I don't know the exact
Yeah.
number. Is there anything that you're looking forward to working on next year, like for Funhaus? Any projects or streams or anything that you haven't been able to like kind of take on this year?
No, I took on everything this year. I don't know.
Well, is there stuff that you
yeah,
did take on a lot,
yeah.
but is there stuff that because you had to take on all this other stuff, you're like, I wish I could have done this, and I didn't get to
I
do it because I
had-
didn't have.
You took on a baby this year.
I did also take on a baby.
That's true.
I had a
You had
very
a baby.
funny idea for a Minch. I mean, all my ideas,
More with Minch?
all my ideas are just
Minch?
mostly Christmas special variations on Christmas specials.
Okay.
I don't know why that's like a thing.
You're Shane Black of YouTube.
I guess, but yeah, I really wanted to do like I had a really funny idea for a Minch Christmas special that I didn't have until like I had the idea like 2 weeks ago.
Write it down, bring it back in a year.
I know. So it's like, well, let's fingers crossed. We'll be there. Also, me and Elise, what's it called? The thing that John Holland produces.
The One True Gamer or something?
Crew commentary?
No, crew commentary.
Yeah.
We watched the
gift guide.
I think those two need to be dragged out into the light again. Sandy and Tanya.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. Those are so much work. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, I just want to play a bunch of shitty games with weird nudity, and
yeah,
that's all I want.
Just play a bunch of shitty games.
Simple person, more trash for trash. I'd love to do more of that and have that grow.
What about have guests on Trash for Trash?
Yeah, if only you knew other people who love movies at this channel.
I just don't know any. So,
I know.
A lot of people have asked. We just haven't done it. Just haven't said yes to anyone. It's like, okay, yeah, and then we go record something without them. I think there's definitely, we could make room for that eventually.
Did you go to the Baroness actually?
But no, I didn't go. It's hard to. I think we went and saw Nick Cave the night before.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little difficult to go out to that the next day, but I wanted to real bad.
Yeah,
but I couldn't. Never seen him. I want to see him. Nick Cave was great though. It's awesome. Yeah.
Was he with what's his band?
No, it was just the Bad Seeds. No, it was just him and the bassist from Radiohead.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It was just like a 2-person thing. It was awesome.
Good.
Yeah, it was rocked.
Nice.
I don't know. I haven't even thought about
next year.
No,
just really trying to get through the end of this year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get that. It's a question that's more like, oh yeah, I really wish I could have done this, so I look forward to maybe having the opportunity to doing something like that. So like the Minch Christmas special or anything like that. That's a perfect.
Here's
example.
what I want.
Oh yes.
Here's what I want.
What do you want?
I want
money.
I go back and I watch videos from the old office, and they're great. The energy is high, and it's like I have no idea who produced that. Now, if I watch them, I know who produced it. It's a lot of. I want everyone freed up and feeling good to be in and produce random bullshit again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because we're all so fucking busy.
Yeah.
You can only focus on one thing, really. Like you can
at a time.
I mean, yeah, but like I mean, you can only put so much energy into anything. So it's like if you're like, I would say most of your energy goes into editing.
Mm-hmm.
I put most of my energy into producing. We both have the same job title or whatever, right?
Right.
But like, you have to figure, whatever.
Figure out the percentage split.
And I just chose that, like, I'm going to put most of my energy into this. And I still have to do the other shit too. But this is where my focus is going or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like we used to all have more. I mean, this is because we had a lot of things have changed. This is not, I think, a choice anyone made. But
a lot of people do a lot of things here. Is just
yes. But that was a very fun time where I think everyone was very active in like, I had this idea, and we, back then you could also just be like, well, let's just shoot it right now. Which you can't really do anymore. But yeah, I want more of that. Because you'd get like a weird video that someone just like found a game, was like, hey, this seems odd, and then would just like pull 3 people, and sometimes those would end up being like the best videos on the channel. But yeah, that's what I want.
I think that's a good goal.
That's
obtainable.
Yeah, maybe.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the Funhaus Podcast listeners or viewers? Anything else out there?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Patrick Brown, from Funhaus. First time here.
Second time here.
Second time here. Check me out on Threads.
Check me out.
No,
on
I don't have any.
Threads.
They know. I don't have anything to say. Thank you.
Get the fuck
Thank
outta
you for
here.
listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick,
Brown.
for stopping by the last podcast of the Funhaus Podcast.
All right, please welcome our next guest,
James Willow.
James Willow.
Wow. Where's the band?
It's in post.
Can you hear it?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Yeah.
How are you, James?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
Congratulations. We made it.
We made it. We did it.
We did it.
We did it. We did a whole year of podcasts. We did many years of podcasts.
Yeah.
Now, for now, Ryan and I are done. But to be clear, Funhaus still produces a podcast And that's you. It's
Yes.
the James podcast.
Yes, the James Show. It's just me talking for 4 hours, I think, and we're gonna do 3 a week.
3 weeks.
Just my rants, just my thoughts and stuff. No, yeah. I mean, we are. So we're getting rid of this podcast, right?
Yeah.
But we're still doing podcasting.
Yeah.
And I think in a more focused manner. Which,
Yeah. So currently, there's another podcast that Funhaus is producing. It's called Trash for Trash. It's a movie about, or it's a podcast about bad movies.
Mhm.
And you guys kind of just break down
Yeah.
the movie and, give it some jabs. I've watched it and I've listened.
Listen, it's not an original idea. Who are we trying to fool? It's not an original
Is there
idea.
any original ideas?
No.
So-
I mean, yeah, there are, but we don't have time for that.
We don't have time.
But-
we don't get paid enough for our original idea.
No one's ever done that.
But
Original.
Okay,
Actually,
Natalie
no. Have you been
Portman.
watching The Curse?
No, I'm behind.
Okay, well, someone does basically that
Oh,
in the
damn
most
it.
recent episode, and it's awesome.
Damn it.
But no, yeah, it's a bad movie podcast, but it's Patrick and I, and basically we kind of love that weird genre of movies from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Where like you could for some reason get like 800,000 to like $3 million and like convince a studio to make an actual movie, even though you're not good at it in any way, shape, or form. So we focus mostly on those types of films.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's not necessarily a replacement for this, but I think we have a fun
not.
take on everything.
Yeah. But it's like something if you want a little audio fix in your car. Oh my God, I gotta
Yeah.
listen to something. Now you can listen to James and Patrick.
And
What percentage do you think of the people listening to this podcast have actually gone and dug up this shitty old movie and then rewatched it specifically so that they can follow along?
you mean have listened to an episode of our podcast to go? I don't understand the question.
like before they're like, oh, you did it on blank movie, and so then they watch the movie and then they listen to your podcast. So they're
I have no idea,
Oh.
but I will say this: we always know what we're going to do next. So at the end of any given episode, we make sure to let people know what we're going to talk about in the next episode. So if they want to watch and join along, but
That's smart.
about half of the podcast at least is devoted to recapping the plot,
Recapping.
because the whole point is that we're watching it so you don't have to. That's the whole point, because it's probably not worth your time.
That's fair. But, just as like, I guess a counterpoint, one of my favorite things to do is listen to somebody that I like or respect and hear them talk about stuff I already know. So like
For
they
sure.
could recap the whole thing and I'd be like, yeah, that's right. And then because they'll add in their little flavor here and there. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm listening for.
But like and respect aren't two things that Patrick and I have with anyone.
Can I dig into your philosophy behind calling these films trash?
Sure. Yeah.
do you genuinely think that they're terrible bad movies objectively, or is it like do you think that there's a specific charm?
The
to these?
term trash was specifically chosen, and the podcast is called Trash for Trash. So implying that we are the trash well, and it's trash for us. I do think that it ties into the adage that one person's trash could be another person's treasure. I'm telling you, Siri, you have to, but no, I think it ties into the whole person's trash could be another person's treasure type thing. So yeah, we're digging through a dumpster and we're finding these things and we're consuming them. So it is trash. It's been thrown away by society at large and the industry at large.
Technically trash,
but we are repurposing it into something beautiful or terrible.
And now you can listen to Trash for Trash wherever you get your audio podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, blah, 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 blah. You can watch the video version over on roosterteeth.com. But James, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the history of this podcast. Ryan and I started it.
Yeah, it feels like only yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
There's been many iterations of this podcast because we sort of just kept, even though the hosts would change or the setting would change. I mean, we did it in the little white room at the beginning of this year, and I was like, we got to get out of this room. How do you feel about it ending? You haven't been a part of, I guess, like the roles and responsibilities of like taking care of it for a while, so maybe you're a little bit less attached.
Well, I can tell you this: I did have to produce it for a while, and it burns you out really, really bad.
Yeah.
I know that making a podcast is a full-time job, and doing it alongside a full-time job is really exhausting. I think some of the detriment to the Funhaus podcast was that if all we had to do was make one podcast per week, like a 90-minute podcast, I have no there would always be stuff to talk about. There would always be reactions to things, topical or otherwise. We'd always have new stuff. But when you realize that you recorded 4 or 5 videos earlier that week where you kind of shared with your friends and coworkers these other things that spurned into topics alongside 8 hours of streaming every single week, there's really not that much left unless your podcast has like a concept, like a movie thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I know how impossible that is to maintain. I'll take you way back to Inside Gaming when we started a podcast because no one was buying ads on gameplays.
Right.
So we were making these gameplays and it was costing money because no one was buying ads on. Who would want to buy an ad on gameplays? Now that you see that everywhere, like everywhere on YouTube has some sort of custom ad, that wasn't a thing. And we were telling the Machinima sales team, like, we'll make a podcast and you sell it. And we'd made a podcast and they didn't know how to sell it. We had to go to an outside company to get them to sell it. So when we finally got it rolling, it was like, finally, we have money. We're making money.
Yeah.
And it was for Machinima, but we're making money using a podcast. So the podcast concept became such an integral part of the business for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those aren't necessary anymore. Like, I don't think so.
I feel like it has to be, I feel like to do podcasting at this point, like, it has to be a passion. You have to be like super excited to, and maybe like you're saying, it's the only opportunity that you get to be like, let me tell you my opinions and shoot the shit. But like, it's not the only opportunity. Even if it's not on camera, I have a hard time not going to Ryan's office and being like, Ryan, I want to talk to you about this thing right now.
Yeah.
But then having to go, well, we should save it for the podcast because I think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Or we're making each other crack up and we know like it would make other people laugh. So many times I just ruin what I wanted to talk about because I gotta talk now.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to be, I think, super passionate about this kind of thing. And have it be maybe one of your only opportunities to do so, to have those conversations.
I'd say it's more of the second thing because I am very passionate about podcasting, as everyone knows.
Are you?
I
There's
love
been a couple times where I've come in on Monday and you're like, am I doing the podcast this week?
Well, right. But no, but that goes back to the second thing she said is that it's just like, it's not our only gig. It's our fifth gig, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, there's just not enough bandwidth in the fucking week. I would love to be able to.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this before, but anyway.
And there's so many different avenues for creating that revenue. So it's like, how do you find the passion to do it when I'm way more passionate about the creative projects that we're doing and other fun stuff. And we can be putting more time into that. And that's one of the reasons why.
I think it would be cool. There's 2 scenarios. One is better than the other. It'd be cool if, more people, kind of like Patrick and I did, just like duoed or trioed off and said, hey, the 3 of us share this thing. And that could be a podcast. And then that just became a podcast with its own branding that we could support by like promoting it on streams and on videos and stuff like that. But it doesn't have to be the Funhaus Podcast.
Yeah.
Or something happens and we don't make any gameplay videos anymore, and then we only make one awesome podcast per week. Like those would be the 2 scenarios that I feel
and
like.
we just talk about what's happening in the game.
Yeah. So,
James, what are you excited about for the new year?
It's so tough. To be candid, I have been so concerned about making it through this year.
I understand that.
We did a lot. I mean, without pulling back the veil too much, we did a lot of transitioning this year to new content formats, new programming formats, new revenue streams, trying to really redevelop and hone in on our community again and like build up that like passion for the kind of content that we're making, refocus on that stuff. We got kicked out of our old office. We got moved to a new office that I think we've turned into something really fantastic. But to be frank, when we arrived, we just kind of got dumped in an office building. And we're told good luck.
It's very corporate in here.
And but I think everyone's done a really great job of like figuring out how to turn it into our vibe. But that has been happening slowly over the course of a whole year.
Yeah.
And anytime you're dealing with that transition, there's always the uncertainty of like, why are we having to do hurdles? Like, should we be concerned? I think everyone at a certain point was always wondering, like, are we just going to come in one day and the lights are off? I think that's still going to be a factor in 2024, but that's mostly what I've been thinking about. But yeah, I mean, I think there's fun stuff. I'm excited to keep doing Trash for Trash.
I'm excited to see new ideas. Bringing back Demo Wheel was really fun.
Mhm.
I'd like to see more people like pick up like old strands of things and figure out how we could do that.
Put a new twist on it.
New twist. Figuring out a way to get not necessarily around YouTube's restrictions,
Yeah.
but like work within the system to like give the hardest of hardcore people like what they want and kind of without feeling like we have to not censor ourselves,
but like great PG content.
Yeah.
Which is it. I think that's totally fair to
Yeah.
say like, no, like the kind of stuff in our sense of humor and our sensibilities, it can be rated R. That doesn't mean like, oh, every video we want to look at sex.
Or
Yeah.
NC-17.
Okay.
Or NC-17.
But you know, just like having that's like the flavor of humor and then not being able to basically put that into our creative work feels stifling.
Yeah, it's really
and also it
stifling.
doesn't make us money.
Yeah. So I think that's a really cool thing to look forward to in 2024 because I think we've figured that out with members and stuff. And then also going outdoor and filming things outdoor. Even if Ryan loses every single time.
We've already been over that on this podcast.
We go through it every single time. I've pitched some things. They're more complex, but I think they're really fun and they always seem to do really well.
Yeah.
And so I would like to do more of that.
Yeah, I think so. That'd be fun. I said earlier, we should go to the UK to play football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should just go get our nails done.
In the
Everyone goes and
in
gets
the UK?
massages. Sure, in the UK.
All right, great. Now, one more question for you, James, which Ryan asked you the last question first, but I'm going to ask the question that was meant to be first.
He has a passion for this.
And that's great. We love the passion for the podcast. What is like one of your favorite moments from this year, whether that's like a production, stream, a video, a character,
I would say,
or not even work related? I don't know.
not our first member drive, but our second member drive where we like introduced new tiers and stuff. And
The
like
one in August?
the one in August.
Yeah.
That whole thing I think was so well executed and tons of fun. And then just the overwhelming amount of support that we kind of got from the community was really fun. I always say the worst thing about this is you put out a piece of content. It's like performing, but then for numbers. So you can do something, you're like, man, I hope people love this. But then the only thing you can go is like, okay, a certain number of people love this, but it doesn't mean anything.
Well, watch this.
So, yeah, something about having like a chat open and seeing people react in real time to the things you're doing and saying it's different. It's as close as you can get to like a live show.
Live audience.
And so that was really, really, really fun. And then for me personally, one of the hardest I've laughed this year was when we did the wrestling battle royale, and all the different versions of Ryan came out, and all the things that happened with the gun in the ring and Patrick falling off was amazing. That was great. And then Trucker. I love
I've
trucking.
seen you laugh a lot in the Trucker stream.
Trucking is really, really fun too.
Yeah.
So those are my
fun
highlights
to
for
watch.
me.
My highlight with you was the voice-activated video game we played.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was I'm surprised we haven't gone back to that.
And your edit of it was amazing.
Yeah.
I've watched it so many times.
That was a really fun one.
A lot of really great videos that
Probably
came
the
out this
hardest
year.
I've had.
Well, thanks so much, James,
No,
for
thank you.
coming to be on the finale of the Funhouse podcast.
Yeah, thank
No,
you.
Thanks for having me, and I'll see you in hell.
All right, now get the fuck out of
Hell
here.
yeah! Well, Ryan,
Now what's there to talk about?
everybody came through. We just had James here. He's gone now. And so it's just back to me and you. We're the furthest apart on the screen as we've ever been, literally on opposite frames.
I know. That was so weird how I took my jacket off for most of it, but then I put it back on for the James segment, and then I just took it back off again.
I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
that's crazy. Don't worry. Movie magic
I
will
know.
fix that.
Okay, yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to say to the Funhouse podcast
This
listeners?
is it, man. You're telling me this is it,
This is
bro?
it.
What the fuck?
About an hour ago, you were like, let's wrap this up. And now you're like, this is it.
This
I'm like,
is
yeah, this is it.
Fuck, man. This has been fun.
There's been a lot of fun
Hanging with
moments.
My main man, Lindsay. Oh, man.
It's
I
just
love
a
you,
shot.
man.
It's just a shot of you moving. I'm not in it. Ryan.
We did it.
Well,
We did it.
I think it's okay. We are going to be in lots of videos still together, lots of streams.
Well, I think it'd be funny if basically the next time we're in a video together, maybe once a month when we're in a video together, we essentially just hijack it, and in the back we'll be having our own Funhouse podcast,
in the middle
talk
of the
about whatever
video.
we'll be doing, regardless of the gameplay.
On a stream, that would be good.
On a stream, maybe.
Do that on stream.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Sitting on the back couch, annoying the shit out of John Smith.
Live Funhouse podcast, unedited. I think that's a good idea. So maybe this will go on just in a different iteration in the background of other people's videos.
Yes. And other people's content planning.
Uh-huh.
I just want to thank everybody for listening and basically accepting us as the people that you are listening to every week for about a year. It was a big change because, we were new to this sort of responsibility.
Yeah, I'm glad we gave it a shot.
We gave it a shot, and I think life is worth living when you try new things.
YOLO, motherfucker. Yeah, I whenever you recounted the story earlier, whenever I volunteered and I was like, that sounds fun. And in my head, what I was thinking was because, at some point, everyone has a podcast on the internet, right? I mean, it's just a rite of passage. If you are a person on the internet, you must have a podcast. Mm-hmm. So I've, at some point, I want to do that. You know what I mean? I'll just jump in there and have my own little podcast and stuff. So I was like, this will be a nice little testing ground for me to figure it out. And what I found out is what we've talked about a lot on this show is it's fucking hard, and especially when you got another job. So basically it's like I think that was a good, valuable lesson.
Yes.
It's just kind of all right, I hope I didn't burn anyone else out there on me, hosting a podcast. Come back when I actually have one on my own channel. but I'm glad that we tried this. You know what I mean?
I'm glad. And like I said, I appreciate that everybody who still listens and watches, we're interested to keep hanging out with us and seeing what we brought to the table each week, or sort of tossed on the table each week of I don't know, we're just figuring it out. And yeah, you can still watch the Funhouse channel.
It was cool seeing people in the comments, when we first announced that this was basically over, people be like, what the fuck? I've listened to every single episode of every iteration of this thing. And why? So yeah, to your point, it made me feel bad and good at the same time. It was somebody stuck around the whole time.
Yeah.
Listen to every single minute of this podcast we put out, and thank you for doing that.
It's definitely sort of I had a chat GPT earlier write a thing because I thought it'd be funny to do it. Because I do remember one of the episodes that you did earlier this year was a whole episode written by chat GPT.
Oh yeah, I forgot
but
about that.
I, for some reason, am dumb and I'm write a thing that's it's sad that it's ending, but it's also a relief, and we're happy to move on to new things. And the word is bittersweet. That's the word I'm looking for, dumbass. It's bittersweet. It's bittersweet. He's saying goodbye, but we got other shit to do,
Yeah.
So it's not
things end, and then there's new beginnings. So, people know how it goes.
People know how it goes.
We're adults here.
We're all adults here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we appreciate you. We love you. Come watch the rest of whatever the fuck we end up doing, with
over
this
on
extra time we got now.
Yeah.
Oh shit. We're just swimming in time.
The YouTube Funhouse channel, and make sure you listen to Trash for Trash. Check out Patrick and James doing that. And that's it. That's it.
This is the end.
This is the end, my friends.
That's the end of the podcast. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I keep saying goodbye, but then I'm like, then I'm like, this can't be the last thing that we say on the podcast. We got to make it a cool thing. We should have talked about this, which is the last thing that we say that any of them said. All right.